Hi, I'm David from myties.net. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to add a monogram using Zazzle's online designer. We'll be using the Albania flag necktie during this tutorial. However, you can use the same steps to add a monogram to any of the 200 flag neckties in this collection. Let's get started. So to get started, all you have to do is click Edit this design, and it will take you into the Zazzle designer. And the first thing we want to do is go to Layers and select the pattern tile that makes up the pattern. And you'll notice in the artboard that it selected it. You can come down to the zoom controller at the bottom of the screen, hit the plus symbol, and zoom in on the tile itself so you can see what's going on a little better. I usually click until I hit the maximum so that you can't click anymore. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is alter the angle of the pattern. To do that, you'll notice the context menu at the top. Just click on alignment. The panel on the left will update. Scroll down in that panel until you see rotate. Hit the rotate clockwise button until you see it go to 45 degrees. You'll notice it's changing on the artboard as we click. Okay, so we've got 45 degrees. Now what we're going to do is add a background for our monogram. To do that, we're going to click on Elements here in the toolbox and the panel updates. Within the panel, click on the square, and you'll notice it adds a huge square onto the artboard. Come up to the context menu and click on the minus symbol to make smaller option, and do that several times, and you'll see the square getting smaller until it's small enough to fit on the necktie. You want it to be about the size of the pattern tile. Notice it has a thick outline on it, so to get rid of that, you come up to line weight, double click on that, and enter 0, and it'll get rid of the line. And then we want to rotate that 45 degrees as well. So click on alignment, scroll down to the scale or the rotate option. Just hit rotate clockwise until you see 45 degrees. All right, so we've got that almost about the size of the tile. To make sure, you can hit layer, select the tile again, and you'll see while the tile is selected, grab it and drag it so that it's centered over the diamond shape that you created, and the entire pattern will shift. So if it's centered, it'll make things a little bit easier for you as we try to make things line up. So let's select our diamond shape again. You can do that in layers or on the artboard. And we're going to drag that corner until it almost lines up perfectly with the pattern. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect right now. Okay, with the diamond shape selected, come up under fill color, and we're going to select black for this. But one of the options that you have, chances are you're not using a flag that has the color scheme like Albania, but it may have a combination of colors. And you may want your background to be something that matches the tie. You can use the medicine dropper tool to actually select the color from the tie itself. So to do that, you just click the tool and the entire screen will fill up with your pattern. Just select the color that you want that background to be. So I could actually select the black out of that's like that. Okay, and it will give you a background color that matches your tie. Anyway, so we've got a black background for this tie. Now what we're going to do is move that to the bottom of the tie where we want it to go. Now you can click and drag that, but I don't like to click and drag and scroll. So what I do is I use the alignment function. With the diamond selected, click on alignment. Your panel will update over here on the left, and you're going to select the align layers to the bottom option, and you'll notice it disappeared. all you need to do is scroll down and you'll notice your little diamonds at the bottom of the tie. Now to position that background, you're going to want to come over to layers and hide the background tile. You do that by in the layers panel next to the background pattern tile. Click on that eye icon and your pattern will disappear. It's not deleted, it's still there. Now you can position your background diamond where you want it. I usually like to place it near where the tie starts to turn into a point where it's at its widest point, like right there. Then you can come back over and click an eye icon again and your background pattern tile will show up. Then you can refine your position here, and I like to nestle it into the pattern like that. Now let's take a look at the preview and see how it looks. I think we'll need to make some revisions just to get it lined up perfectly. Hit preview at the top, and then this rolled necktie preview. Now see, I can nudge it a little bit down here and line it up a little bit better. Let's go back to the artboard. Let's nudge it down just a little bit, and then I think we can increase the size. Grab one of the corners and pull it up a little bit. Okay, if you have this issue, I've run into it a couple times where it collapses in on itself. If that happens, come up here to the top and click on undo. You have these undo and redo buttons, these arrows at the top. So you can click on the undo and it'll undo that issue. Let's take a look at that under the preview. Come to the rolled. Now you notice now that my diamond lines up with the lines within the flag tile. Nice and neat. Okay, so you can close the preview. Now we want to actually add the actual monogram, the initial itself. You come up here under the toolbox and click Add Text and add a text box. I'm going to add a W, type W, click on Submit. Okay, it added your letter, but it added it to the center of the tie at the top there. So it's up here. And you can drag it down like this, or you can use the alignment to just snap it down to the bottom of the screen. That's what I usually do. There. Okay, so with your text selected, you can come up here and pick a font on your context menu. If you know the name of the font, you can enter it, or you can scroll to the list. There's quite a few fonts to select from. Just click the one you want, and it'll change on the artboard. Then you want to set the size of your font. I usually start about 60 points, and then you drag the actual letter to fit over your diamond background, and you'll notice these little lines snap to show you where it's centered. Then at the top context screen, you want to set your background color. Now in this case, you can set it to, I would say, white if you want the initial to stand out more, or you can go with a color from the flag. Say we want to make it red. Okay, so we can use the eyedropper tool to select a color from the flag like we did before. So let's make it red in this case. Let's take a look at the preview. Again, the rolled version always. Now, sometimes your fonts will be technically centered, but they don't look centered because of the weight of the top or bottom of the font. And you can move it around to make it look the way it looks centered to the eye. And that's just up to you, what looks good to you. Let's go back to the artboard, and I'm going to nudge that down just a little bit because it is weighted heavy to the top. Like that. Let's preview it one more time. Okay, that looks good. It looks like it's centered in there really nicely. And you can look at the other previews, and the other one I usually look at when I'm doing monograms is the in situ preview. It just shows you how it looks, from a distance. Usually I recommend that you Don't make the monogram background any more than a third of the width of the tie. You don't want it to look too gaudy. And I like to position it at the bottom so that when somebody is wearing the tie with a jacket, if they close the jacket, the monogram itself is actually covered. So that's just my opinion. You're welcome to design the way that you like. Okay, so we're all done adding the monogram. The next step is just to go to the blue button up in the right-hand corner. It will walk you through the final steps of just checking to make sure that everything that you've done is done okay. We only did work on the front of the tie, so when you go to the back of the tie, you've made no changes, so you don't have anything to worry about. You can just click through that. And then it'll give you the opportunity to do a final check. You can click through the preview one last time. And then if you are happy with the changes, all you have to do is click Add to Cart, and you're done. Your monogram is on the tie. Just place your order like you normally would. Explore over 200 customizable flag necktie designs at myties.net. Add your initials, make it yours, and create a meaningful gift that you'll be proud to wear or share.